So the Nottingham Forest boys were in action this weekend against Newcastle at St James's Park. It wasn't the best outing for them, even though they scored first 2 Hudson Odoi, and that's another player. You see, the people at Hudson Odoi piss me off. You're not going to get caught up by England. Ghana invited to come and prostrate in front of their presidential palace. You're not still playing for Ghana. Why? Ghana, go and talk to your people. I don't like the way these players disrespect you. You know. But anyway, Odoi scored to make it 1-0, but Newcastle beat them 4-3. Olaino considered a penalty, which was a bit harsh, if I'm being honest, but also he didn't put his arms by his side. So obviously, when he tried to block a cross, it hit his hand and was a penalty. But better luck for Nottingham Forest. They need to fix up. They're still third, but only by 3 points over Man City and Newcastle. And they play Arsenal next on Wednesday in the Premier League. So this week, there's going to be Premier League football during the weekdays. So look out for that starting from tomorrow. Also in the FA Cup will then take place over this weekend. So a lot of our clubs will not be. There's no Premier League games this weekend. But if your club's still in the FA Cup, watch out for your team. So Nottingham Forest will play Ipswich Town at home on Monday next week, 7:30 p.m. Alex Iwobi on the other hand and Calvin Bassey both started for Fulham, but they lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace were fantastic in this game, man. It's just a shame that Joachim Andersen scored an own goal in this game, which against former side, that must have hurt. That must have been very annoying. And then the goal that Muno scored, if you see Jean-Philippe Mateta's run, man, Mateta just carried the ball like 50 yards, just played to Munoz. And then Munoz, he really did Calvin Bassey, man. Just did like a little shimmy. Bassey just shook. He just moved the ball to his right leg and banged it straight into the top corner. So better luck next time for Fulham, but it looks like they will definitely get better luck because tomorrow night, Tuesday, so today's Monday, they're going to be playing Manchester United. No, they're not playing Manchester United. They're playing Wolves away tomorrow first. And then in the FA Cup, they'll play Manchester United away on Sunday. So good luck to Fulham, and I know who I would expect to win that game against Man United right now. As for Leicester and Wilfred Ndidi, man, Leicester are going down. There's no need to talk too much. They lost 4-0 at home to Brentford. Their manager, Ravani Stroh, even looks like he's already lost faith. He's saying things like, well, we played against a better team. Every time we play against better teams, we lose. Bro, you're the coach. Coach the team. Ndidi, I don't know why Ndidi resigned his contract to play in that team, man. Like, it's become so bad. Like, all the promoted teams just come up and just go down straight away. It's so annoying. But anyway, I hope he has a relegation clause in his contract because we know he resigned last summer. Next up for them, though, they play West Ham away on Thursday. So hopefully they get some points, but it's very unlikely. And then also relegation confirmers. Southampton, they're definitely going down. Southampton lost 4-0 to Brighton. Aribo played the whole match. Polongachi played 18 minutes. They're just useless. And they're going to lose tomorrow again. No need to talk too much. They're playing Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. I'm even going captain Kopama because, man, Southampton are disgracefully useless. Other results to be aware of. Last week, Wednesday, we saw Aston Villa draw 2-2 against Liverpool at Villa Park. That obviously gave Arsenal fans hope, but that was quickly extinguished on Saturday after Arsenal lost to West Ham at home. Arsenal are just rubbish. I don't want to praise that team or say anything. Very, very arrogant and disrespectful club. You not go and sign striker. The most important thing in football is putting the ball in the back of the net. You now say you want to play the season without striker. It's arrogance now. It's idiotic behavior. But anyway, it's not about Arsenal today. On Saturday, we then saw Everton draw 2-2 against Man United. Commiserations to Everton for not getting the penalty that would have made it 3-2. But I wanted to shout out Bruno Fernandes for his captain performance. Really, really good from him. Matthias Cunha scored yet again for Wolverhampton as they beat Bournemouth 1-0. Tottenham beat Ipswich Town 4-1 in a proper thrashing. Southampton lost 4-0 to Brighton, which I already mentioned. Aston Villa beat Chelsea 2-1. I mean, what performance from Marcus Rashford with 2 assists in that game. I don't know what Arsenal were doing. I know that they said they already made 2 lows, but I've terminated Sterling's loan now. I'm going to go and get Rashford because now we're looking like really in these players. And then, of course, yesterday, champions-elect Liverpool literally put a seal on their championship aspirations. Basically, they can already start bringing out the champagne because they're now 11 points ahead of Arsenal, even though we have a game in hand, after they went to the Etihad and beat Man City 2-0, which was their first win at that stadium since 2015. Games going on in the Premier League over the midweek. Tomorrow we'll see Brighton play Bournemouth at the Amex Stadium. Crystal Palace hosts Aston Villa. Wolves also host Fulham. And Chelsea hosts Southampton. On Wednesday, we've got another 5 games for your viewing pleasure. Brentford hosts Everton at the G-Tech. Tottenham will then host Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Man United will then host Ipswich Town at Old Trafford. And then we will see Nottingham Forest host Arsenal at the City Ground before Liverpool round up the fixtures on Wednesday by hosting Newcastle at Anfield. On Thursday, we'll then see the final set of fixtures as West Ham host Leicester City. So as I said, Liverpool Champions elect is done, man. Arsenal are second, we're 6 points ahead of Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest are currently third with 47 points, with Man City and Newcastle currently occupying fourth and fifth with 44 points each. The good thing to note is the race for the top four is going to be very interesting, even though Premier League is likely to have 5 spots in the Champions League, because fourth all the way down to ninth, Brighton and ninth, are separated by 4 points. So there's a lot to play for. In fact, if you add Fulham and Brentford, you could even argue that 4th to 11th, this is not argue, it's fact, are separated by 7 points. So there's all to play for. And all these teams are looking quite good. Man United remain 15th. I have to call that out because it's quite interesting to see. And of course, all the promoted teams are looking like they're going to go down. Southampton have 9 points, while Ipswich and Leicester are on 17 points each. Wolverhampton are just above relegation zone in 22 points, but they're 5 points ahead of Ipswich Town, and they've won 3 games more. So I really doubt Wolves are going to mess it up, especially with Cunha performing well. So that's it in terms of the Premier League and how the games went over the past week. Moving on to Serie A, and I've just spoken about what Ademola Lookman has been able to do over the past week, so no need to rehash that. But congratulations to Atalanta, and next up for them, they play Venezia at home on Saturday, and hopefully he will continue to bag goals for his side. Fisayo Delibashiru, as I said, was taken off in the 40th minute for Lazio in their 0-0 draw against Venezia. They are 5th, and I think they're level on points to Juventus, so they're still in the hunt for that final Champions League spot. But Juventus have started to hit form recently, even though they were useless in the Champions League. So look out for that one. Next up for Lazio, they play Inter away in the Coppa Italia tomorrow, and then they play AC Milan away on Sunday. So that's going to be a very interesting tie and fixture. AC Milan, on the other hand, continue to stutter, man. They're so useless, man. I can't even. First of all, they're out of the Champions League. They drew 1-1 against Feyenoord. They were winning 1-0. Next thing you know, their captain, Theo Hernandez, decided to dive, so he got sent off. And Feyenoord scored a brilliant goal to make it 1-1 and 2-1 on aggregate. And then Chukwueze, the writing's on the wall. He's not going to be there for that long. He came on to play a grand total of 2 minutes over the weekend as Torino beat AC Milan 2-1 on Saturday. So next up for them, they play Bologna away on Thursday, and then they play Lazio at home on Sunday. And then hopefully we'll see Maduka back very soon. Next up for Udinese, they play Parma at home on Saturday, so let's see if he's back for that game. In the Bundesliga, Nathan Teller was out of the squad due to a hip injury, while Victor Boniface played the final 7 minutes for Bayer Leverkusen in a 2-0 win over Holstein Kiel. No surprise there because Patrick Schick has been playing very well, the Czech Republic striker. I was even looking at the charts and I realized that Patrick Schick has scored 15 goals in the league. No penalties this season. So, man, it's like Boniface going to have to hold that bench, man, for now. And good luck to him in the meantime. You know, next up for Leverkusen, though, they play third place Eintracht Frankfurt away on Saturday, so that's not going to be an easy game. But I'm sure they've probably given up their hopes of winning the league. But they have the opportunity for revenge, because they'll be playing Bayern Munich in the Champions League, so look out for that game. I already spoke about Gift Urban's exploits for Hoffenheim in their 1-1 draw against Stuttgart at home. Shout out to the Hoffenheim goalkeeper Philip. He made like 10 saves, man. He saved Hoffenheim in this game. But then Gift Urban, of course, did what needed to be done by scoring the equalizer. Next up for Hoffenheim, they play Bochum away on Saturday, so good luck to Urban, and let's see if he continued the great form. Frank Rijekaard's Olberg, on the other hand, really put the sword to Mönchengladbach on Saturday with a 3-0 win, so they're comfortably mid-table right now in 11th place, and Rijekaard continues to start games. Next up for them, though, they play Freiburg at home on Sunday. In La Liga, Crisanto Uche was not in the squad for Getafe due to an injury, as they lost 2-1 to Real Betis. Anthony continues to play well for Real Betis, and Isco continues to play well as well. He scored 2 goals in that game. Hopefully his injury is not too serious, because as I said, I would love to see him in the Nigerian national team for our March qualifiers. So let's see what happens before their game against Leganés away on Sunday. As for Chidera Juke was on the bench for Sevilla. As for Akko Adams, he's currently out due to a hamstring strain, so we wish him a speedy recovery ahead of, I think he'll be back by early March. So watch out for that one with Akko Adams. And then finally, Omar Sadiq played 74 minutes as Valencia got thrashed by Atletico Madrid 3-0. Hopefully they will have some better days when they play Osasuna away at 8 p.m. In Ligue 1, we saw George Lenkena come off the bench in the Champions League, as I mentioned, against Benfica. His goal would have taken the time to extra time, but then they conceded 3 minutes later, and the game ended 3-3, and they lost 4-3 on aggregate. So very unlucky for Monaco, but Lenkena did his repetition no harm whatsoever. On Saturday, he played 26 minutes as Monaco lost 2-1 to Lille in the league. So they're currently 5th and they're struggling to make the Champions League spots. Next up for them, though, they play Reims on Friday. So let's see how they perform in that game. Speaking of Lille, Chuba Akpom did start that game that they beat Monaco 2-1. He didn't score assists, but must be a decent performance. Next up for them, though, they play PSG away. So they play the real big boys. And we know PSG, they're kind of like the big bully right now in Ligue 1. They're just steamrolling all their opponents. It's quite funny to observe. As for Nantes and Moses Simon, they bounced back from their 7-1 thrashing against Monaco to beat Lens 3-1 on Sunday. The senior man himself also scored a penalty in that 3-1 victory. So continue their great performances, Moses Simon. Next up for them, they go to Marseille away to play Roberto De Zerbi's side on Sunday night, 7:45 p.m. Speaking of Lens, Hamza Ojedira was not in the squad for that loss to Nantes. So let's see if he gets some minutes as they play Le Havre at home on Saturday. And finally, Gabriel Ocho played 90 minutes for Auxerre as they beat Marseille 3-0. Very, very strong performance from Auxerre. They're now up to 12th in the league and they play Strasbourg at home on Sunday. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues in Europe.